We
side.
went to the Barnes and Noble.
Oh yeah, out by Oakview.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Great.
I think the only one left in the Omaha Metro.
So I spent my entire childhood in Barnes and Noble.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Barnes and Noble. I mean, you walk in though, and it's the same.
Yeah,
It's a time capsule
visually
back to my
it's
childhood.
the same. Yeah.
Not in a bad way though.
No.
I don't mean that negatively.
We went to the one up in Sioux City last year on our way back from Okoboji, and we were like, "Wow."
I'm kind of bullish on Barnes and Noble.
Well, there's a really good.
Apparently, they're opening a new one in Omaha too.
Well, there's a couple good news segments, and it was either 60 Minutes or whatever, and I'll see if I can find it and put the link in the show notes. But they're where they talk to the new CEO of Barnes and Noble and how Barnes and Noble is like surging right now because they completely threw out their old business model with just like gazillions of books, but they went to curation and they went into like, how do we be a big brick and mortar bookstore, but with a small bookstore feel? Mm-hmm. And they went hard on that, all in on it. And I think when you sent me that video, that video that irritated me from Starbucks, the Starbucks coffee company, I think they're doing what Barnes
they're trying
and
to
Noble,
do it. Yeah.
They're trying to take that playbook.
You know, Starbucks, despite what Matt says, because Matt's a huge fan of Starbucks, but if you guys put comfortable couches in your locations again and like give me some Seattle 90s vibes, I'm all in on. I'll be back in immediately.
Really?
Give me, the opening scene in So I Married an Axe Murderer?
Yes. I ordered the large coffee. Hello.
Hello. I just watched all of like the Linda Richmond reruns.
Yeah.
Coffee Talk. Welcome to Coffee Talk.
I still quote that. Like Dottie will have something on her face. You got some schmeisel on your connect.
I'll be like, whenever I'll be like, I'm a little verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves.
Is this podcast our version of Coffee Talk?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I just finished my coffee.
100%.
The Madonna guest.
Oh my
when
God!
Madonna
I'm doing
co-hosted with her was just,
and then
it's the best.
You have it was she comes around the back. She's like, I don't care for that Madonna.
Yeah. Oh, it's so great.
Wonderful. I'll do the Coffee Talk intro and so the studio sessions intro on this one.
So 90s, So if Starbucks felt like
not even, I miss being able to go and like sit in a coffee shop and like just
not in a chair though, like a wooden,
like a couch, just like
something comfortable,
kind of feeling like
versus a chair that's designed
the Panera close by here used to have chairs, and I'd go sit in the chair. It was a chair by a window, leather chair by a window, and I'd go sit and read every morning. I did this for a year and a half. Every morning I'd go read for an hour in the Panera. And you suggested coffee one time at the Panera. For us to
we
meet, sat in those chairs.
I was like, Panera?
Yeah.
Like I was not.
Yeah.
I was Mr. Snooty archetype guy. Like. And
you're like, what is going on?
And nothing against.
No.
They have.
But they got. Decent coffee.
Maybe I was just surprised
some
that
good
you
baked
liked
goods,
Panera.
And they had those two chairs by the window, and they took the chairs away. And
they did.
Guess where I haven't been to
They
sit.
took the two chairs away.
They took the chairs away.
I wish you would make a video on that. Like that's something that would be interesting. Like Alex talking about the two chairs at Panera, and
this is I love how far away we are. Like we need to somehow tie this back into like we have a podcast that says art and the creative process. We're talking about Panera's chairs, but
there's something.
No, so getting back to kind of where you were going,
get you to make art about it, but
I'll get you back to you were talking about Starbucks, and I think Starbucks does have an opportunity because I think 90s coffee shop vibes is something that could come back.
Have you gone to Sozo Coffee House? Mm-mm. That is 90s big time.
Where's Sozo?
Sozo's by the Old Market adjacent. It's like totally under the radar. I didn't even know it existed.
It's underneath. It's the under.
Yeah.
Oh, I do know.
But it is like,
it's got like the pool.
Yeah, Central Perk, Friends, big puffy chairs, from what I remember.
We'll have to go to Soho then. Check it out.
Sozo.
Yes.
Because that's what I thought it was too. Soho at first. Like, no, it's Sozo. Sozo. And I haven't been back.
I always thought that place had like weird reputation or something. I don't know why.
It is an outlier, but
yeah,
maybe it's the move.
Could be.
But yeah, and I don't want to spend a bunch of time breaking down the whole Starbucks thing.
Let's just wrap up the Starbucks Barnes & Noble thing, though, because, yeah.
So for you, and I think us, when we went to Starbucks and stopped in, it was a lot of nostalgia. But I think we also noticed, like, oh, the selection here is... it's not just all these tables full of bargain books. Like the old Barnes & Noble used to be just mountains of books that they over-ordered. They would put stickers on them. They're reduced price, all that stuff. It was just like there were a gazillion different sections of different subjects and medical books and law books and these big, huge reference books. I think
for dummies books.
Yeah, they've removed all that stuff and while still maintaining a large footprint as far as square footage goes, they've dialed in and focused the selections that they make, and they have employees there that are like smart about what the books are. They have sections that they curate themselves, like,
and it was very just like you and I talk about this. It's so easy, like so many people kind of manage things and see the world through these like very hyper localized like echo chambers in 2025. And we talk about like what makes YouTube great,
right?
It's just everything. Like you're gonna get whatever you're interested in, and you can find it on there.
Like old stuff. Yeah, I mean,
completely niche, completely not niche. Like you're gonna find whatever, and that's the key for a lot. And Barnes and Noble, great. Like, I do think there is a market though for just like a coffee shop and a bookstore, and maybe Barnes and Noble's coming in to fill that. And
I haven't been out there. We should go out there. We should do a podcast episode at the Barnes and Noble sometime.
I think your kids
they loved it at the Barnes and Noble in Sioux City.
They enjoyed it.
They thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah.
It was, and part of this too. I'm like, how much of this is just nostalgia?
Right, and
because I grew up in these bookstores, and I go back and I'm like, this feels the same. This is amazing. 100%. How many things
you travel through time?
Can you say that about that haven't lost their way?
But if they can make it so that when you actually do look beyond that layer of the experience and go, wait a second, there's actually good stuff here.
I think I bought a book.
Yeah. And so when we talk about, this podcast is about, art and the creative life, what does this have to do with Barnes and Noble? I sit there and go, I like when I see stuff like that out in the world, because I try to dissect the creative intentions of, a big, what used to be a huge corporation and now a little bit smaller, but still doing well, rebounding and sort of rebranding themselves and getting back to understanding the basics of how to connect with an audience.
It's
all that's
kind of what we talked about too on some of those earlier episodes we did, where we discussed Patagonia.
Yeah, right.
That's exactly like a self-contained business,
mission-based.
Don't like I will give the CEO. I will now give the CEO of Barnes and Noble some advice. But I mean, if I was giving input just from like my perspective. Focus on the energy.
Right.
Focus on the energy. Like, what is the point of a Barnes & Noble? It's the energy and the ideas.
Right.
You have ideas. You have the kids' playland. It's amazing. It's just a place where imagination can be free. You have all of these ideas from just all across the spectrum.
Yeah.
There's no, just anything that you can imagine, put it in there. Obviously, don't go so overboard with like the manuals and the doctor, how to code Linux in 2004 or something. Like, I think we all know that kind of a thing. And then also add areas to hang out and sit. Can we get some couches in these places?
That's right.
Like, I want to just go.
Well, then you'll just read the books for free.
Yeah,
but this is what I mean. Like, this is what some CEOs
that's what you
think.
Want.
This is what some CEOs go. No, we need turnover. We don't want people just need to code. I'm
likely to buy I'm likely to buy a book if I read through it. Here, you want to sell me a book? Here's what you do: you get me sitting down in the store and reading through the book and finding an idea that's so cool that I'm like taking a picture of it, or I want to highlight just because it's like, and then I'm like, is it worth the extra $5 I'll spend on this instead of going to Amazon and waiting for a day and losing this train of thought to just be able to underline this right now? Probably. Yep. So then I bought a book.
That's right.
And then, maybe you sit down, have a cup of coffee, whatever. I think that there's focus on the energy. Don't try to be the biggest. You're not going to compete with Amazon.
Create an experience.
It's over. Amazon won that battle.
Yeah. If you need something fast and cheap,
Amazon.
Amazon's it.
Don't try to win that battle. You already almost went out of business because you tried to compete with Amazon.
But for the people that want an experience and they want to go someplace and spend part of an afternoon and discover something new and all that.
3 hours in there, man.
3 hours. And imagine if they had couches. You might look up and go, "We've been here for 6 hours, babe."
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Well, and that was the thing too. Like, we were prepared to kind of hang out.
Sure.
They just didn't have any place for us to hang out. It was go sit in the cafe at one of the tables.
Yeah.
Which we thought about, but we're like, there's just no place to read. There's these like uncomfortable little chairs.
It had been a golden afternoon, and I remember having the familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the summer and summer.